Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are diving into how Mountain, MNTN, and by extension, Ryan Reynolds, are involved in a shady, a scam university, which is leveraging Mountain ads to hook in new students. Wait till we pull this apart. This is a hot mess. Now, we are going to break down Mountain just a bit. I have lots of videos on Mountain and Ryan Reynolds. We've been covering them since the beginning of this year. So we have tons of videos on them. I don't want to spend too much time going over who Mountain is, but we'll break it down really quick. Before we do that, say hi. Where are you tuning in from in the chat? It's so nice to see everybody. I won't be in the chat as much today because we have a lot to cover and I want to make sure we cover it all. But definitely drop in, say hi, and hang out with everyone. It's the best community on the internet. So you'll have so much fun hanging out in the chat. All right, let's start here, my friends. Let's talk a little bit about Mountain first. We're going to set the stage. Before we get into the content that was sent to me, this story was actually sent to me by someone that can't cover it themselves because of, well, when you're in the industry, you can't cover it. That's also why I don't take on private PR clients anymore, so that I can cover whatever the hell I want. No one has to say in what I cover. We're going to get to there. We're going to get to the fraud university that they're running ads for, but let's start here. Mountain is the business that a lot of people know because of the connection to Ryan Reynolds. Ryan and Maximum Effort were originally brought on, or they were acquired. Maximum Effort was acquired by Mountain back in, I believe it's 2021. Then right before Mountain went public this year with their IPO, they divested Maximum Effort, but Ryan Reynolds stayed on as Chief Creative Officer. Now, that doesn't surprise me because Ryan Reynolds, as we've talked about previously, he tends to have, from what I can tell, I certainly am not privy to what his contracts look like, but if you follow the pattern, I have over 15 years of experience in branding, marketing, and PR. It's not hard to follow the pattern and see that when Ryan Reynolds signs a deal, it looks like some creative controls attached to it because then he turns that business, he turns that sports team, he turns whatever it is into movies. For example, Wrexham and their series that they have, Welcome to Wrexham, turns it into ads. He runs ads for them. So that seems to be something that's kind of like part of the deal. You get Ryan, you get Maximum Effort. So he gets some kind of creative control so he can run ads and, further build up Maximum Effort. But before you knew about Mountain through Ryan Reynolds, Mountain was actually Steelhouse. And again, we've covered this quite in depth on the channel. They ran a counterfeit click fraud scheme. And they were called out by this ad tech company, Criteo. Now, I would say this isn't exclusive to Mountain, these click fraud schemes. It's unfortunately something that happens. In fact, Criteo was also called out as potentially having done stuff like this. But Criteo is a France-based ad tech company. They filed a lawsuit that alleged rival firm Steelhouse ran a counterfeit click fraud scheme that led to substantial injury and damage to its business and reputation. What it says here is US-based Steelhouse and Criteo directly compete in the online advertising space. So I imagine, whether you run your own business or not, I think we can all imagine that if you are in the advertising business and your direct competitor is lying about their click-through rate, which is essentially you see an ad, you click on it, right? That's something any business should be tracking. What is your click-through rate? If Steelhouse, now Mountain, is lying about that and inflating numbers to sign people, it absolutely is going to negatively impact their competitors. So Criteo is a huge public ad tech company that crossed 1 billion in revenue in 2015. So this is an older article from 2016 is when all this came out. While Steelhouse is a private firm, because we know Mountain just went public this year, 2025, that is far smaller than Criteo in terms of top website market share. Steelhouse has raised $63.55 million in funding. which is interesting, right? Like that's also been something that's always made me go, with Steelhouse. And don't worry, guys, this isn't the end. I'm gonna stay on the neck of Mountain. I'm staying there, not necessarily just because Ryan's involved. This has interested me because branding, marketing, PR is my baby. It's what I've spent the last 15 years in. And I don't like when people misrepresent it and when people do shit like this that make it look shady. So both companies place ads by retargeting, dropping a cookie on a user's browser when they have visited a website. So I'm going to give you an example of retargeting. Have you ever gone to someone's Instagram page and say it shows up in your feed and you're like, oh, that's cool. And you start clicking on it. And then all of a sudden you're getting their ads on, say, Facebook or Google. Tony Robbins is a great one. I love Tony. There will be no Tony slander in the chat. I will bring Nightbot back. He'll bring Nightbot back. But Tony Robbins is a great one, right? You go to his website or you go to his Instagram page, and then all of a sudden you're getting ads for the new free 5-day workshop, which will be a funnel into UPW. Yeah, y'all know, not play with Nightbot. So that's a retargeting ad. You land on someone's page, it drops a cookie, not a good chocolate chip cookie, but a cookie from your computer, from the internet, and you'll get hit with retargeting ads. You'll get hit with ads. So usually an e-commerce website is one that you're going to see this used for. When the web user visits other websites, the publisher can offer that e-commerce company the chance to purchase ad space targeting that user, which will hopefully result in that person returning to the e-commerce site and making a purchase. Retargeting ads are great overall if you are building a business. Retargeting ads are great overall, done ethically, my friends, done ethically. We are big fans of ethical PR, marketing, and branding around here, ethical advertising. Done ethically, they're great because only 2% of your audience really sees your stuff. So at the end of the day, someone might see something and they never think to go back, never think of you again. Retargeting helps with that. So retargeting ads in themselves are not bad. It says both Criteo and Steelhouse use a pay-per-click pricing model, which means they only generate revenue when users click on the ads they have served. So when we look at ads on a page like this, Business Insider, that automatically play, that's not a click one. So see this one here is playing in the corner. What is this? Your favorite slots. Of course it is. Oh, let me hide. There you go. Now you can see it. You can see this ad playing here, your favorite slots. That's not a click one. I don't have to click it. That company is getting paid, or sorry, they're paying to have that there, whether I click it or not. So what it's saying here is that you'd have to click on the ad. The amount they can charge advertisers depends on their conversion rates. Conversion is going to be, you have the ad, how many people see it and then click it. Oh, there you go. How many people who saw the ad clicked on it? And by measuring whether the ad served resulted in sales. Criteo alleges in the suit that Steelhouse's counterfeited clicks to trick e-retailers or e-tailers into attributing sales to Steelhouse that should have been attributed to Criteo, other competitors and partners, or direct traffic. They are basically stealing, counterfeiting these clicks to make themselves look better. And you make yourself look better, and this is all Mountain. Just for anyone hopping on now, we're doing the backstory of Mountain. Ryan Reynolds, the company that he is affiliated with. This is when it was still Steelhouse. Steelhouse was stealing, okay, that's clever, was stealing clicks to make themselves look better so that people signed up. Because if you put 5 people in a line and you're like, wow, okay, I want to use one of these companies, and Steelhouse, their metrics are much higher, you're likely going to go with Steelhouse. Well, you should, in theory, right? If someone's purchasing things from someone that's the worst, I mean, maybe that's why your brand's not growing. That's bad. So it says the suit also claims Steelhouse used the scheme to falsely advertise to customers that it consistently outperformed Criteo in head-to-head comparisons, which led to Criteo losing important business. The suit says Steelhouse, or more importantly, Steelhouse's counterfeit click fraud, has irreparably harmed and continues to irreparably harm both Criteo and the online advertising industry as a whole. I agree. This does harm the entire ad industry, and it fractures trust with consumers, with everyone that's seeing this. So Criteo is seeking millions of dollars in damages. They ended up settling. I'm not going to go too much into the lawsuit itself because it's kind of neither here nor there. I just wanted the backstory so you could see that Steelhouse, aka Mountain, has been having issues for a long ass time. Now, this story again was 2016. When we're looking at Mountain's journey, they ended up bringing Ryan Reynolds on in, again, I think it was 2021. Yes, 2021. It was right after Ryan Reynolds joined, right after. Let me double check if I can find it quick. So, yeah, it was 2021 that everything came out that Steelhouse was rebranding to MNTN. And the question that I put up in my reporting and exposés on Mountain earlier in 2025 was, was he a part of this? Was he a part of the rebrand? Did he have his hands in the cookie jar, so to speak? Because we have this company going through all these legal woes, and all of a sudden they rebrand to MNTN, to Mountain. And that same year, actually, I think it was later in June. It was beginning of June, if memory serves, that we got the announcements in regards to the rebrand of Steelhouse. And later in June, Ryan Reynolds came on. I want you guys to let me know in the chat, in the comments on the replay, do you think it's a coincidence? So the question I had said earlier this year is, one, is it a coincidence that Mountain rebrands? Yes, rebranding to distance from the scandal. Steelhouse had rebranded early June. Ryan Reynolds is announced as coming on board late June. One of the things that we look at on the channel is SEO, search engine optimization. If you're looking to rebrand to get away from, I don't know, allegations and lawsuits about click fraud schemes, what better way than to what we're looking at when we look at the rebrand, you're also fixing SEO, because now when you look for Mountain, you're not actually getting the click fraud scheme. You're not getting anything that's associated with Steelhouse. All of that's gone. You have to specifically look for Steelhouse to get any of that lawsuit. So now when we look at Mountain, that you get a fresh, clean slate. It's all gone. It's not associated with you. So right there, the rebrand itself was SEO manipulation. The rebrand itself, in my opinion, is reputation laundering. Same company, fancy new marketing, fancy new spokesperson, because at the time, Ryan Reynolds, arguably, I know not in this community, but in that space and overall had a really good image. So you rebrand to a new name, you bring on Ryan Reynolds, who was very popular, very much liked. He was seen as the funny guy back then. That's reputation laundering. And then let's flip over to today. This was sent to me. Well, this was sent to me, I think, Thursday or Friday. How a for-profit college is using CTV ads to win over new students. Guess who is running these ads for a shady college? Just drop, before I even say it, just drop it in the chat. I was frozen again. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it, guys. Meditation is not going to save anyone in this house after I get off this call. Ryan, you got it. You got it. Also, let me know in the chat, my friends. MNTN, you guys, Mint Mobile. I'm not freezing for you. That's so weird. So, Ryan's just selectively choosing who I freeze for. I'll clean this up on the replay. So if it pulls down right after I'm done, that's why I'm just cleaning it up for you guys. Ryan Reynolds, MNTN. And here's the thing that I've been saying all along. The Intent IQ lawsuit against MNTN doesn't really catch my attention at all, to be honest, because Intent IQ is suing everyone for the foundational tools that they're using in the industry. This to me is a direct, in my opinion, Ryan, disclaimer, direct connection to Ryan because he is chief creative officer at MNTN. He is running the ads, and he's running ads for a for-profit college. Wait till you see what we're calling out today. Wait till you see. Scam pool. That is hilarious. I love it. And one of the arguments I always have is when you have a business or a brand, whether you are Maximum Effort, whether you are Mountain, whether you are a streamer, Emily D. Baker, Dave Neal, me, you're starting your coaching or your healing business, you're a dog trainer, you're a spiritual entrepreneur. I don't care what you are starting a business in where you are getting paid. Who you align your name with is critical. I don't take every offer to speak on other people's platforms. In fact, I'm very selective in where I go because everything you do when you align yourself with something is a direct reflection of you. Ryan is going to be sick of your opinion. Actually, I'm going to get a knock on the door one day and it's going to be Ryan Reynolds showing up at the house. Hey girl, hey, what we're going to do is stop talking about me. But yeah, everything, every connection you make, every brand partnership you do, every platform you speak on is a direct reflection of your brand. Him speaking with Grant Cardone really at the end of the day told me everything I needed to know because Grant has his own history of issues. So let me know in the chat before we go too far into this article, who knows what a for-profit university is? And well, I'm going to leave it for a second. You guys let me know if you know any examples of it in the chat because there's been a lot of controversy over these for-profit universities in the past. They're very controversial because for-profit universities, and I actually don't like this article at all because this article almost seems like this is a great thing. This is a good deal. This is something that propaganda university. Absolutely. Absolutely. What we know about these for-profit universities is that they've been accused of predatory recruiting tactics, targeting vulnerable, low-income students. And when we also look at some of the tactics that are used with these universities, they are using retargeting ads. For this example with Ryan Reynolds and MNTN, using retargeting ads where when you actually dig into it, it's basically loan sharks that are giving you these loans. It is absolutely horrific what goes on. Yep, I was waiting for something. There you go, Trump University. Strayer. Yep, there's a lot of examples of these. I love that you guys already know. Yep. Low graduation rates, high amounts of debt. Very rare that the skills in education you get at these universities transfer over. And guys, it gets worse. It genuinely gets worse. If you're just jumping on, stick around because this isn't even the worst. Oh, it gets worse. So yes, job placement rates really low, graduation low, crushing debt with degrees that carry little real world weight. And this is, like I said, you are a company like Mountain or Ryan Reynolds. Attaching yourself to a university or a business like this tells me everything I need to know. This would be like in my brand, if I've built my entire brand on the farm animal sanctuary, ethical use of psychology, ethical use of branding and marketing. And I teach that. I have a new course that's coming out, your 90-day PR playbook, which is understanding for everyone starting out. You need to know PR from the moment you start to teach it to you in an ethical way. So could you imagine if tomorrow I start doing PR and branding and marketing for a brand that exploits animals? And you're like, girl, you've built your entire brand on animal rescue, helping animals. I'm vegan. My whole life's work has been helping animals. the brand story. I have people that were with me from the beginning when I used to just talk about being able to afford a farm, to build a farm animal sanctuary. And they've been with me on the journey now to having it. And they'll be with me on the journey to my next stage, which is buying a 100-acre property, which someone else can live on. I'll run it, and saving more animals. Girl, that's what you've built your brand on. And now you're coming out supporting these brands that are like running animal testing. It doesn't make sense. There's cognitive dissonance between what I'm saying and who I am partnering with. Even if I did a partnership with a brand and spoke on their platform and they don't align with my values. So I am a big believer, especially in today's climate, who you align yourself is a direct reflection of you. But these people don't care. They don't care. It's money. Yep. All about the money. Yep. Well, they all figured out how to scam the average person. Scum. Yep. But it gets worse. Let's dive into this article first. The channel members, I gave them I didn't get a bat signal. Christine, I need to figure out a way. You know how Emily D. Baker has the Law Nerd app? We need to figure out something like the Comms Crew app or something here. I am convinced there is something shady going on because I only have internet issues with Ryan Reynolds, and my videos that are about Ryan Reynolds get less in terms of notifications sent out. It's very weird. So I'm convinced something's going on. All right, let's dive into, but we'll come up with something. I'll look into it where we can get something like the Law Nerd app or the Comms Crew app. And that way you guys don't have to rely on YouTube, because YouTube isn't really a fan of my exposés at all. They don't really get much traction, to be quite honest, these kinds of videos. They get suppressed. Okay, let's start here. Back to school is often a dreaded phase for students. It signifies the end of summer and a return to long days of classes and hours spent studying and writing essays. But it's also crunch time for schools, trying to woo students who are still on the fence about registering. The need for a long advertising presence during the back to school season is one of the main reasons why the American College of Education, ACE, an online college offering bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees, decided to partner with performance TV company MNTN. Ad exchangers should be ashamed of themselves, first of all, for running this without any due diligence. And you bet, guys, trust when I say you're going to want to subscribe, so I'm not letting this go. Because I think there's more here. I think there's more here that I haven't uncovered yet, but I promised that I would bring this to you on Monday. It is Monday. It is Labor Day. We are talking about it, but I am not giving up on this. Founded as Steelhouse in 2009, MNTN's original focus was on display advertising across web and mobile. Now its focus is on performance TV and helping brands, especially those that haven't advertised on CTV before, take their messaging to the TV screen. MNTN, which rebranded from Steelhouse in 2021, considers itself a separate company, an MNTN representative told Ad Exchanger, citing the shift to CTV as the main difference between the two. Yeah, it's a separate company. Asked about Steelhouse, like separate, it has nothing to do with us. Separate company, man. Steelhouse who? Steelhouse doesn't go here. Doesn't go here. I don't know her. Finding your people, yes. If you want to organically find your people, ethically, which isn't, these days with so many scammers out there, I think we need true good people more than ever, if you ask me. That's the 90-day PR playbook. I'm going to teach you how to do it ethically because this is bullshit. And I don't want PR to get a bad name because everyone needs it, but people like this just give the whole industry a bad name. It makes me sick. It really makes me sick. All right. ACE primarily targets working adults looking to pursue higher education. Wait till you see the Yelp reviews. That's where we're going next. To reach them, it adopted an MNTN matched, proprietary tool, words are hard today, that uses generative AI to analyze a brand's products and online presence. Based on the content it discovers, it builds predictive audiences grouped around keywords that are correlated to specific segments. These audiences are then subdivided into 3 groups based on likelihood of conversion. Likelihood of conversion. Because here's the thing, ads are expensive. Ads are really expensive. So it's like, we'll make it cheaper for you. We got you. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's Jessica DeLeon, an account director on MNTN's customer service team, told Ad Exchanger high intent, medium intent, and max reach are the subcategories they have. In ACE's case, high intent audiences are pretty much on the verge of enrolling. Medium intent audiences have shown serious interest, but might still be undecided about pursuing a degree or are considering other schools. And max reach audiences are those who aren't necessarily considering further education, yet might be interested once they've learned about ACE. Yeah. Once they're bombarded constantly by your ads and you convince them, yeah, I need more coffee too. Amen, my friend. Amen. And that's the trust no headline from our merch store mug. Once you scam them, and that's the thing with retargeting ads. So it says here, but might be interested once they learn about ACE. You hit someone enough with retargeting ads that are well done. The psychology it works on is essentially the more you see something, the more trust you have in it and the more you believe that it's effective. I mean, it's just the psychology of it, unfortunately. So the more it's in your face, you're like, oh, okay, maybe this is something I can trust. Maybe it is okay. ACE uses first-party data from past and current students to target prospects who work in the education, healthcare administration, nursing, and business verticals. And because its average student is 38 years old, it makes sense to focus on CTV networks that appeal to adults who are already established in their careers. Keep that in mind. You're going to want to remember that. More ESPN than Nickelodeon, as Vince Arzay? I don't know. ACE's VP of Strategic Performance Marketing puts it. MNTN then identifies the most appropriate segments to target based on age range and interests. Each vertical, and we're not going to go too far because, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of like in the weeds. But what I want you to keep in mind from this is they have a very specific person they're targeting. They want people that already have a career. They're 38, they're busy, probably, have kids, limited time. That's who they're targeting. 38 years old. These colleges are scams, in my opinion. They are making money by essentially speaking to people that sometimes are desperate, right? They don't have many other options. They can't go to in classes. They have a career, they have kids, and they have these crippling debt, usually from loan sharks and degrees that carry little weight. So Mountain and Ryan have aligned themselves with a company and with a business model that is ethically questionable. But wait till you see this. Now, while I'm searching for what tab I have this on, because I have so many tabs, I've been doing so many videos this morning for you guys. Let me just find it. There we go. Let's go over to Yelp. Now, I am not accusing anyone of doing something illegal. I'm not. I'm just going to put the information out there and you guys let me know what you think. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just reporting on it. Ethically challenged Reynolds doesn't sound like it has enough teeth as a phrase. That's so good. It's true. As we're about to dive into the Yelp reviews of this college, where I'm going next is maximum, or not maximum effort, although we can probably go there too. I'm going into MNTN next to look at this because there's weird similarities, very weird similarities. But hey, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. What I want you to know before we dive in is it is illegal to do fake reviews. Probably in every country, but definitely in North America, it is illegal to do fake reviews. Here we go. Look at this. There's either 5 stars. Let me know in the chat or on the replay what you think immediately with this. There's either 5 stars or 1-star reviews with a couple 2 stars. Off the bat, doesn't that make you like, okay, that's weird? Tell that to Sephora, tell that to a lot of companies. A lot of companies do it. Sometimes the problem is, how do you prove it? But it's even in most countries, it's becoming illegal to even give like a tit for tat. So it's even becoming illegal to say, hey, like I'll give you a discount if you give me a review at the end of this. Even if you say, look, even if you like the product, you don't have to give me a review at the end if you don't or whatever, but at the end, give me a review. Even that's becoming illegal. They're cracking down on stuff like this because it's so rampant that people are doing fake reviews to con people into trusting them or buying their products. But right off the bat, you either have 5 stars or you have 1 stars with a couple 2 stars. So this is for that American college that MNTN Ryan Reynolds are running ads for. Let's dive into some of the reviews here. Shall we dive in? Is that not false advertising? Exactly. That's why it's illegal. So Taylor from Jonesboro says, 5 stars. ACE is an affordable online college. The online coursework made it easy for me to get my master's while still working full-time and being a parent. Don't take a shot every time you see keywords in these 5-star reviews. So what we're looking for with the reviews, I don't want to sort by most recent because it's not even applicable to what we're looking at here. I don't care about most recent. I care about, y'all don't see it sketchy that it's either 5-star or 1 star. And this college was never a legit college. So at the end of the day, whether they're newer or older doesn't hold much weight for me because these colleges, these for-profit colleges are scams. They were always scams. So I want you to not take a shot, but take a mental note. Yep, you got those buzzwords, right? Affordable, easy, working full-time, and being a parent. Do you guys remember the retargeting that they did? Is around busy professionals, 38. And then they put them in buckets of most likely to convert, and I forget the 3 buckets, but they had the 3 buckets that they divide them into. Jim says, 1, don't do it. And I want you to start to notice, again, I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm letting you guys make your own conclusions. I'm just reading it. This is 1 star. And watch the verbiage and how they're written. This is another thing I was talking to the members about on Saturday. Watch the difference in how it's written for a 5-star versus a 1 star. Don't do it. I was excited to continue my doctoral studies at ACE as it was a great alternative and a value. The school was also excited for me to continue my education journey by being attentive initially. So before they get your money, they're attentive. 2 enrollment issues were very difficult to resolve as ACE does not provide proper support. I understand the school is more cost effective by decreasing overhead with staff. They don't care or they're overworked and can't manage the workload. Additionally, the studies did not meet the professional requirements that one would consider necessary for the course. Again, what we talked about, these for-profit universities, what they are notorious for is you go in, you get this degree, but the degree doesn't apply to the real world. For example, you get like a psychology degree from this, and then you go to get a job as a psychologist or you go to do the board exams, and they're like, what is this shit? It's a piece of paper. It means nothing. The course load is manageable, but it takes someone more than 1 course per semester, which they recommend, which is not manageable. So it's also kind of deceptive marketing, what they're saying. If you're working, forget about it. Yep. Let's go down. Howard gave it 2. Classes are very easy, not rigorous, time consuming. Don't expect much other than an online platform and watch your money and credits. Pay in full if you can each time because they are waiting. I'll just say it's a business that sells education, not an institution of education that charges. And when I say sell, again, watch the bussier's office and the registrars. We use it registrars in Canada. Don't assume, don't expect to hear from coaches or get anything after you sign up. Yep. Good luck. Eyes wide open Tie on the wallet. Dally, 1 star. This online school is perhaps the worst online program I have ever experienced. Hodgepodge of reading material and unhelpful busy work. Recorded lectures are so old and outdated. There's zero significant instruction of any sort. Again, it's busy work, a lot of it, unrealistic amount of it. The system is difficult and the pacing of the work, deadlines, and assignments is hard to keep up with if you're working full time. Well, that's interesting. Isn't that against what they're promoting? Yeah, we have registrars too. Exploitation. And wait till you see some more of the 5-star. Again, I'm just reading it. I'll let you all make your own conclusions. Took me a week to realize that I was such spinning my wheels and not really learning anything significant. These people just want money. And is that really, Ryan Reynolds, what you want to be attached to when your brand is already struggling? I don't know. And guess what? You're not entitled to any kind of refund after 4 days of the course starting. This was an expensive lesson to learn. I could slap myself. I swear these reviews are absolutely fake. Keep in mind, as I've said, for all of 2025, MNTN and Maximum Effort Ryan have been a little bit of a pet project of mine, you could say. Maybe that's why I got a subpoena. Who knows? This is also the company that rebranded to protect SEO so it'd be harder to find the lawsuits they were attached with. Rebranded in June of 2021 just for Ryan to come on in late June 2021. It's just interesting timing. And this person says, I swear these reviews are absolutely fake. No way, no how are they real. Mara, 5 stars. No picture for Mara. This is it, which isn't, so it doesn't, ratio has 0 picture as well, but you know, this is a great solution for a working teacher. Do you guys recognize that keyword? That would be used in the ads because they realized what? That their best target audience were working professionals around 38. Yep, solution, working, you got it. Interesting, right? If you manage your time well, you can do it. The assignments are not hard, just time consuming. They're not hard. The video presentations are generally good and the professors are very helpful. Why pay twice the amount at other online schools? I will have my second master's degree soon for $8,000. I had a good experience. 1 star. If I did not have to give a star, they would not get any star. This is a paper mill school. I applied, they registered me, then they de-enrolled me, but they still sent me a bill stating I owe them. After I complained, they re-enrolled me without permission. I started that class, but this is the worst online Canvas class I have ever taken. It's like high school introductory class. Today, they dropped all my classes. Then they emailed me and stated that a staff member requested to drop me from my online class. What? This is the worst school I have made contact with. Classes began. My advisor never contacted me. The workers are very untruthful. They lie to you about everything. They even lied to me about the course selection. If I was not on top of my game, they would fool me. Even though if I was regionally accredited school even though it is a regionally accredited school by the HLC, Higher Learning Commission, their accreditation should be revoked. The classes are the same from year to year. Do not attend the school even though it is cheap. This is a catch. It's a paper mill school. You won't learn anything. It's just an easy pathway to earn a degree. Attend a reputable college or university. ACE University is not the best way to go. 5 star. My cheeks get hot. Like I get so worked up over this. I'm a doctoral candidate at ACE and I find the classes rigorous. So there's like, no, what are you talking about? They're rigorous. They're good. This is an accredited program, which meets the needs of working professionals. Interesting how all the 5 star reviews hit the talking points. Who would like to advance further in their careers. I have a master's from Johns Hopkins University, and so far I've been impressed by the quality of education I'm receiving at ACE. Scott, 1 star. I'm so disappointed with my experience. The courses could be better designed. I don't know if a school of education knows how to educate. This is my worst experience I've ever had, and I went to for-profit schools. I feel like this is more of a scam than the for-profit schools ever were. I would stay away. Yes, please make sure to like the screen. Well, click the screen, click like, subscribe, because I'm not giving up on this whole mountain shenanigans, Ryan Reynolds shenanigans. There's going to be more, and I have previous videos about it as well. Another 1 star. Think twice before attending the school. I thought it sounded great to attend school online and signed up from overseas. After 1 week, I found the coursework adjusting to their computer system was going to be taxing. I asked the teacher for assistance, but was put on hold and had to wait to find out the school was not for me. I asked for a refund as quickly as I could and was denied. Less than 1 week in school and my money was held. Wait till we get to the Better Business Bureau. We're going to flip over there. You're going to want to sit down. Another 5 star. Very impressed with all the staff. Professors were knowledgeable and helpful for each course I took. Support staff was always available over the phone and able to answer any questions I had. They were efficient. Cost of tuition is much lower than any programs I looked into. Another 5 star. I graduated with a master's degree in January 2020 or 2013. I proudly displayed these credentials on my resume. They are top notch. Tuition is quite reasonable. 5 star. I'm impressed. It's tailored for working adults. There you go. Another keyword. The courses are well organized and rigorous, meaning, yeah, you're getting your money's worth. It's not a scam. What are you talking about? Budget-friendly costs appealed to me. I'm so glad I took the plunge. I'm learning so much and I can apply it to my teaching immediately. Jen, 5 star. ACE has overhauled programs to meet more rigorous standards, is an accredited institution, very affordable for educators. Also, the professors have earned their doctorate from many different institutions. And yes, even from what some consider the top echelon of universities. Ultimately, consider what the institution is offering and decide if it meets your needs. It's so frustrating. And it just goes on and on and on. People wanting refunds, not getting their money back, saying it's a scam. You have people literally calling it out as fake reviews in the Yelp reviews, that the 5 star are fake. And have you noticed, other than a couple people, ABEB, that's not me. Yes, my clients, the community, ABE, that's not me though. We get a couple 2 star, but you're looking at 1 star reviews consistently. Yeah, rigorous is that word is in every 5 star review. Good point. That is a great point. Yep. And scam comes up multiple times in the 1 star reviews, people accusing them of being fake reviews. And again, guys, I try to be as, when I'm looking at anything, like for example, when we went over Intent IQ and we did a video on it and their lawsuit against Mountain, they're suing everyone Intent IQ. You literally pull up Intent IQ on any court doc. You got like 30, 35 open cases. Meta's going after Intent IQ for the fact that they're basically trademarking even thoughts. Intent IQ is cray cray. So that one's like a whatever to me. This, especially if you're interested in the connection to Ryan Reynolds, has more teeth. This is with teeth, Blake Lively, because Ryan Reynolds is the chief creative officer. He is involved with the advertising and marketing. So these are the people that Ryan's targeting. He is okay with representing and running ads for a scam university and scamming people out of their money, allegedly based on publicly available information that these people are saying, I was scammed. These are fake reviews and I got targeted by your ads. Well, who's behind the ads? based on what we know publicly about Mountain, it appears to be Ryan Reynolds. Does this get you all worked up? That's why sometimes I do the exposés on pre-recorded, because I just get so worked up. So Ryan, this is his work and he's okay with it. And that's what I'm saying. When you are representing companies like this, even if you want to say, hey, it's just ads I'm running, I don't care. It represents you as a person, because there's people that are being scammed. This one too, awful cutthroat refund policy. You're only given 4 business days in which to decide whether you'll stay in the course or withdraw. The 5th day is the deadline. All right, I need to plug in I never plug in my tech before we get started. So let's do that so that we don't lose everything and get kicked off. And then I have no one to blame but myself. Couldn't blame Ryan for that one. All right, so exhausting. Okay, let's go over to the Better Business Bureau. I could have swore I had that up. Oh, yep, there we go. I'm going to flip over to that next. You're going to want to make sure you're sitting down for this one. Let's go to the main page before I pull it up. I don't want to ruin I want the surprise to be the surprise. And this is the whole point of this channel, guys. Just to reiterate that, is I don't believe all PR branding and marketing is bad. I believe in ethical PR branding and marketing, because as I always say, with great power comes great responsibility. Any good branding, marketing, PR is going to use psychology. But when you're screwing around with people's heads and their wallets, you better be doing it ethically. And this is not, in my opinion, ethical, any of this. So if you go over to this American College of Education, Inc. on the BBB, because if you look at some of the reviews that I was able to find online, people were saying, I'm reporting you to the Better Business Bureau because of this scam. Look at this. A+. It makes me shake. I am actually shaking over that. Now, I've had people, and I was talking to people over the weekend that said, look, Better Business Bureau is essentially a scam in and of itself. I genuinely believe Wikipedia is a scam, but that's another day. Yeah, you guys are already jumping and saying it's a scam. I also believe Wikipedia is a scam to support public figures, but we'll deal with Wikipedia of it all another day. From what I can find is, as long as, and the community was saying this as well on our members only chat on Saturday, from what I can find is it's more built on the responsiveness of the organization itself to complaints. To Brian by BBB2, probably. Yes, Wikipedia is a huge scam as well. We're going to deal with Wikipedia on this channel. So again, you're going to want to make sure you like and subscribe. So they have an A+, but this is the crazy part. They have an A+ when their only reviews, now we just, in fairness, have 2. Their only reviews are 1 star. This ACE for-profit college that Ryan Reynolds is writing ads for and running ads for to scam unsuspecting people. Their only reviews with the BBB are 1 star, and they have an A+ rating. Yes, and that's what we're going to dig into in future exposés. These platforms, they are pay to play. There are so many pay to play platforms. It's disgusting. So let's look at some of the reviews. So this is 2023, 2024. And at this point, like, why even go to the BBB? A lot of people that I saw making threats online, not threats, but saying, look, if you don't resolve this, I'm going to the Better Business Bureau. At this point, you come to the Better Business Bureau and you're like, what's the point even? This person says, Donna, this college is a scam. Yep. There's that word again. Interesting how all of the 1 stars keep saying scam. These 5-star reviews are fake. And just like I said in early 2025 in regards to Mountain and Ryan Reynolds coming on to the company and allowing Maximum Effort to be bought by that or acquired by that company, I find it hard to believe that he doesn't know about this shit. Like, I just find, unless he, no, there's really no way. I don't believe it. I don't believe he didn't know about Mountain's past. He probably helped them rebrand. And you mean to tell me you don't know that these companies you're running ads for to scam unsuspecting, hard-working Americans? I don't know if they do international students. They might, but hardworking Americans out of their money. They are targeting people around 38 that are working and looking to better their life, and then they scam them. And that is the kind of company that Mountain says, sure, we'll take your money. That's the kind of company that apparently, based on publicly available information, Ryan's okay writing ads for, because his whole role, if as chief creative officer, and I say as because his specific role has never really been leaked in that, but it appears to be in all his contracts, he becomes chief creative officer so that he can run ads and therefore make more money. If his sole job is running these ads, he's directly responsible for getting people to say yes to a company that is a scam. Where is your due diligence? Where are your morals? Where are your ethics? I think any of us following the It Ends With Us lawsuit know the answer to that already, Ryan. But it might be something you personally want to reflect on before your brand completely goes up in smoke. And we know people at Marvel watch the channel. I know for a fact, I have screenshots around it. So someone reach out to Ryan and let Ryan know that him and his wife are the own authors of their brand demise in 2025. Because when you continue to partner with companies like this, it reflects on you. They should be all ashamed of themselves. Supporting an ad exchange, the website should be ashamed of themselves, as if this is something to be proud of. This is not something to be proud of. I don't care how effective the ads are. In fact, if the ads are effective, you should be more ashamed of yourselves. So Donna says this college is a scam, and they and Climb Credit need to refund the whole, looks like, she probably put fucking dollars to me. It got taken out, that word, for the services I did not get, the right to an education and my master's. The fact is, I had a set plan and schedule to graduate and start my doctoral after I graduated in March 2023. They have ruined my dreams and goals and put a bad taste of college in my mouth. I refuse to accept anything except a total refund and what was promised, but through another college. Maybe accreditation should be taken away. That gives me chills. Let me know in the comments. Does that not give you chills? She came out and said, they ruined my dreams and goals. They're preying on people that are likely, honestly, when we look at, I even think of myself in my own journey, when I was early 30s, I think is when I finally had enough and started moving everything online. My whole history is a long story. One day we'll do a members only live with my whole history. When I finally had enough and I was like, whatever, I am creating the online business. I'm going full in. I was at my wit's end. And so I would have been the target audience that they would have been retargeting. I would have been the audience that Mountain and Ryan Reynolds would have been going after. And I'm glad. I've spent a lot of money on getting established online. I've spent a lot of money, I'll be fully transparent, on education, working with mentors, working with strategists, et cetera, et cetera. I have invested in myself from day one, but I am really happy that my money went directly into my business and directly into growing it, rather than a company like this, rather than ACE, this college that scams people, and they don't even have anything that they can apply in the real world after. They should all be absolutely ashamed of themselves. But this is, wait till we get here. Aaron says, I began my master's program with this college because it was inexpensive and online. I had to withdraw from the program due to illness, and I've spent the last 3 months trying to get reimbursed for overpayment. Overpayment. It doesn't even look like Aaron was looking for her money back. She was just like, hey, I've overpaid now. Can I have my overpayment back? It seems as though Aaron was being probably more reasonable than she had to be, or he had to be, and was like, okay, I get it. Keep that money. I just want my overpayment back. Unfortunately, I'd used the tuition flex loan that they offer. aka loan sharks. My opinion only. 3 months after withdrawing, I still have not received a refund for my overpayment. After countless hours on the phone with their student services, in air quotes, they refuse to allow anyone to have direct contact with their financial office. They refuse to provide a phone number or email of anyone that works in their financial department. They also refuse to allow me to talk with a manager. And here's the response. American College of Education, Inc. responded just a couple days later. Thank you for bringing the situation to our attention. After speaking with all teams involved, we can confirm that the payment you reference was made to a third-party loan provider, Loan Shark, after you withdrew from ACE prior to classes starting. This is what kills me. This almost killed me on the Members Only Live when I read this out for the first time. You can't even make this shit up. After you withdrew from ACE prior to starting classes, the loan provider sent a reimbursement check. Guys, they are literally using the check is in the mail as an excuse. That is what they are saying. The check's in the mail, man. What do you want us to do about it? It's not our fault it didn't get to you. We sent it. Yeah. Yep. The check was then returned, which led to the reference delay. As we relayed a voicemail to you on 2/13/23, the loan providers corrected their mistake and are sending the refund to your address on file, American College of Education. Well, if you already had the address on file, how did it get sent to the wrong address? If you had the address on file the whole time, how did it get sent from going to the wrong address? Because it seems like the address was always the same. They literally, American College of Education, use the checks in the mail as an excuse. This is who Ryan Reynolds writes ads for. This is who he writes ads for. So, I'm not letting this go. I am going to be continuing to look into this. This is only video one. Well, video one on this part of the scam. We have multiple videos. In fact, I'm going to create its own playlist of looking into MNTN because it is something I've been looking into this whole year. But that is the latest news. And industry insiders have been sending me this news. I've received it from people that are in the industry because they can't say anything about it. And they know that I joke, I'm in my like reputation era if we're referencing Taylor Swift. I call it my unhinged era. We can also go with reputation era where I'm not looking for PR clients anymore. I've removed myself from that industry. I'm going all in with y'all. And, the courses that I'm going to create that bring you deeper into it, like your 90-day PR playbook is one way I'm going to bring you deeper into helping you create your PR for your business and brand. But I'm going all in on y'all. So as soon as I announced that, people are reaching out to me and they're like, oh, girl, you're not involved in the industry anymore. I'm like, no, we're going full blown expose style. I'm blowing the roof off this bitch because someone's going to get mad at me. Someone told me I need to do better over using the word bitch. But anyway, neither here nor there. We're blowing the roof off of this because I am uniquely positioned, having had 15 years of experience in branding and marketing and PR, to do exactly that. I'm uniquely positioned to see what goes on, to understand what goes on, and bring us behind the headlines, bring us behind the bullshit. So the people that have been reaching out ever since who are like, wait, girl, you're not in the industry anymore. Like, can I send you this? Right? Reclaim the word. I always say nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. I don't mean it as something mean. You're their safe space, Ashley. Yes, everyone is now coming to me, and that's in the industry I worked in, right? That were colleagues of mine, and they can't say things being in the industry. And that's why I had talked about this with my team and with my husband. And I said, I feel like being in the industry is not that I was inauthentic, but it did prevent me from going to certain lengths and for uncovering certain things because you're paying your bills off of being in the industry, right? And even though I've always taken an ethical lens and I'm very selective in the clients I would take on, it still does have in the back of your mind that voice of, "Ooh, should I go there? What's going to happen? Will I be able to, pay the bills if I say this?" And so really taking a step back and being like, I'm going all in on this. I'm going all in on my exposés. I'm going all in on the celebrity scandals and pulling back the kind of the veil on what goes on has really shifted everything behind the scenes for me. They picked on you from day one. Why you? Maybe you're teaching us the truth. What's so funny is they have. I've been in multiple hit pieces, including the Mommy Sleuth one. And I've definitely gone on the radar. And that's probably exactly why. We're calling. Where is someone quote? Let me go back. It made me giggle on the inside. And now I've lost it. There we go. Look what you made Ashley do. I got sick of the bullshit. And just so you guys understand me on a little bit of a deeper level as well. And my intention is, I really believe in my heart of hearts that there's good people that do great things with more money in this world. When I had more money, I was able to buy a farm animal sanctuary. And I am just over it and pissed. I am at my limit. And how branding, marketing, PR, especially PR, has been warped and manipulated by people like Maximum Effort, Ryan Reynolds, Mountain, to support just destructive agencies and destructive predatory businesses. And it just gives the whole industry the wrong impression, the wrong name, and it's destroying the industry. So what I'm intending on doing moving forward is doing more of these, and then having courses, short courses, affordable courses. Like your 90-day PR playbook is, I think, 149 USD. It's 4 weeks with 2 Q&As, is to really, okay, let's not do it the unethical way. Let's leverage what I know, my 15 years of experience working with celebrities and public figures and startups and everything in between, to grow your brand, right? And that's just something I'm so passionate about, is helping people do it the right way, because this is all, it's disgusting. WME2, filthy corruption. Oh my gosh, I have so much on WME2. We've gone into them a few times. We've gone into them a few times here. Let me see if I had anything else for this one, but I believe this is everything I have for part. Oh, no. I have more. All right. Let me know in the chat. Yes, please like the stream. It's free. Takes 2 seconds. Do you guys want to go quickly into the stock and some of the issues that are going on with the stock with Mountain in this video? Let me know. Keep going. You guys are like, don't even, just keep going. All right. So we'll keep going. I have about 20 more minutes. We will go into the stock. And that's something I'm deep diving even more into, but I'll lay the foundation here for you guys. Kirsty is saying that Taylor is revoking being godmother to Blake's daughter. Oh my goodness. Can you do that? Can you do that? I'm not sure. I guess you can. I have a godmother, but like, I don't even know who that would be at this point. I always thought it was just kind of more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a title, but doesn't really mean anything. But what do I know? I guess it's probably different for everyone, I assume. Okay, let's dive into this a little bit. Here is Mountain stock. Not quickly. You guys are like, not, what are you talking about quickly? We're only at 1 hour and 10 minutes. We've still got at least an hour. There's the word I was looking for. Honorary. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Symbolic. Yes, those were the words. That's what I always thought. Okay. So one of the things, now I'm going to be upfront right off the bat. Stocks are really not my thing, but patterns are. And noticing patterns are. I mean, that's what's made me so good at what I do, especially with PRs. I'm really good at noticing patterns. And so while I don't really know stock that well, I know patterns and I'm nosy AF. So I pulled up Mountain stock. And while some people, and I'm seeing this argued online some places, some, I don't know, maybe you could argue Ryan's bots are arguing that this is totally normal. It's not necessarily the fluctuations that concern me, because we're also seeing down kind of across the board, to be quite honest. It's the points of where there were spikes and the points that where there were drops that interest me. And I'm just going to do a brief thing today in regards to it. And so again, Mountain, I think one of the biggest issues for Mountain right now is they are tied to Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, when they rebranded from Steelhouse into Mountain, Ryan Reynolds became the face of their brand, quite literally. He was in everything. And while that would work for you when things are going well, and it would work for you when his brand was going really well, it doesn't work for you now because now your brand is tied to Ryan Reynolds. You type in Mountain, you're getting pictures of Ryan Reynolds. Although I will say, I think Mountain has someone behind the scenes doing something with that. And that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at in a next video for you guys, as well as looking at what I think there might be some reputation laundering going on for Mountain. Sorry, guys. I think I hear a chicken, a baby chick chirping. I'm going to have to address that. Cindy, appreciate all the info you get about Ryan. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel, guys. And you know, guys, I appreciate everything. The views, it takes 2 seconds while you're here. Like the video. If you have hypes left, that helps also the Farm Animal Sanctuary, right? We run a Farm Animal Sanctuary. I have a new video up. If one of the mods want to grab the link to the Farm Animal Sanctuary video, and you can drop it in the chat. It helps. The likes help with the algorithm, especially on these exposés. Liking and commenting. So even after the video, if you're on the live stream, just drop, your favorite emoji as a comment. Say hi, where you're tuning in from as a comment after. My exposés usually get pushed down. In fact, it was my exposés on Nick Shapiro, the CIA guy for Blake Lively, that essentially destroyed my reach in the algorithm earlier this year. Thank you so much, Glow. If it's done in a church, then it's different. I think it was just Blake dubbing TS as godmother. Interesting. And that's true too. For some people, it being in the church and being official might be very different as well. That's a great point. Different cultures, different religions. Absolutely. That's a great point. Okay. So let's just break it down. So we have May 23rd is the initial spike, and this is year to date. Year to date. So the initial, we know that May 23rd is when the IPO went public. They went public with Mountain. That's also around the time that they got rid of Maximum Effort. They kicking Maximum Effort out the door. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And while it's been rebranded in the sense of reputation laundered, which is an SEO PR trick, it's been reputation laundered. It seems really convenient to me that Ryan Reynolds was going through all this controversy at the time. Maximum Effort is even linked to Deadpool, the words themselves. They're going through all this controversy. And you mean to tell me it's just a coincidence that Maximum Effort gets divested from the brand, from the business, right before they go public? I don't believe it. Let me know in the chat. Do you believe it? Do you believe it was just all this coincidence? I don't believe it. So when I start to look at the timeline of everything, so what I can find, that IPO day was May 23rd or 22nd, 2025. So this is what you're seeing here, May 23rd, Friday, May 23rd. So we see that spike. Now, when I look at, and again, keep in mind, not an ads or not, well, I am an ads expert in terms of PR, not a stock expert. Maybe I'll see if I can get someone on the channel that's more of a stock expert for the deeper dive into this. Actually, that's a great idea. What I'm understanding, and from people I've spoken to in my private life around this, is you're going to get that kind of opening frenzy. The share shot up. Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. So the spike that we're seeing is that high point here when it first came out on the market and went public. But look at this consistent drop. There's a little spike, consistent, plummets down. You get a little bit of a benefit up here on June 16th, but you're getting a lot of drops. Now, around July 15th, we are getting almost consistent up. July 22nd, the 24th, July 30th, August 5th. And I'm just setting the stage for when we really go into this. The interesting thing for me is this spike that we're seeing in August seems to align with the earnings dropped after the market closed on August 5th. That's when Mountain had announced a strong Q2. So a year in business is going to have 4 quarters. What I can find is that this year, they had released numbers saying that they were having a strong Q2. So for people, you can see that increase, right? Because if you're investing in Mountain, it's like, oh, wow, they're doing really well. They had a strong Q2. I'm going to invest. The interesting thing is what they showed was 25% year over year revenue growth, 77% gross margin. And what caused controversy and what, in my opinion, caused this drop is there was a widened net loss. So even though you were seeing benefits in some respects, there was this widened net loss that could have caused that favorable opinion of Mountain or that willingness to invest in them to drop. It's like the optimism had a reality check and people started backing out. What we saw in Q2, some of the numbers I have written down is 65.5 million, up 25% year over year. So these are some numbers I have written down for the deep dive on the stocks in Mountain. Performance TV revenue was 67.8 million, up 35% year over year. Gross margin, 77%, up from 70% a year prior. Net loss was 26.2 million, with roughly 23 million of that in IPO-related charges. It's interesting. Now, I want to pull up really quick this article, because this was also sent to me. This was sent to me by someone a while ago. And I was like, I'm going to do this as part of a bigger series. Mountain had a strong earnings debut in Q2, but shares dipped a bit anyway. Too bad actor Ryan Reynolds didn't join CTV ad platform Mountain's first ever earnings call on Tuesday. It would have been fun hearing Deadpool answer questions from investors. Yeah, because shit's not looking good. And that's the thing. Like, okay, yeah, you're showing the revenue, you're showing the performance, that increase of 35% year over year. But there was also some controversy that maybe letting maximum effort go kind of inflated numbers in some ways. And again, I'm looking into that more. This was supposed to be part of part 2, but we're going there a bit today. In early April, not long after Mountain filed its S1 and shortly before its IPO in May, the company divested Maximum Effort. See? May. So that's where we saw that spike. That's a creative agency co-founded by Reynolds that Mountain had acquired in 2021. Had acquired in 2021. For everyone just hopping on, make sure to watch the replay. I'm sorry we froze in a couple spots. We found our jam though. We're doing good. Weeks after Mountain rebrand from Steelhouse due to click fraud schemes being called out. That is reputation laundering, my opinion. Then Ryan Reynolds signs on to Mountain. They have a total rebrand. He becomes the face, the funny Canadian guy becomes the face of the brand that had controversy prior. It says Reynolds maintains MNTN's chief creative officer and its number one celebrity shill. Maximum Effort is still going strong. We'll see about that. Anyway, that's not a threat, Ryan. That wasn't a threat. It's not a threat. Anyway, the purpose of that divestiture was to help Mountain simplify its financial structure ahead of its IPO. I don't believe that at all. You mean to tell me they divested Mountain divested Maximum Effort just to simplify in the height of the controversy around Ryan Reynolds and the It Ends With Us lawsuits? I don't believe it at all. There is no way they will convince me of that. But sure, you do you. You lie to the public. So it was to focus more on its core business, a strategy that appears to have worked. Mountain's Q2 revenue grew 25% year over year to 68.5 million without max effort and would have grown 34% with the company still on its balance sheet. So it says. What's interesting though is that without the creative agency on board, Mountain's gross margin improved significantly. So their gross margin improved significantly. Q2 up 7% to 77%. In other words, Mountain is more profitable without maximum effort. The market, however, wasn't overly impressed. The company's stock dipped by just over 3% in after-hours trading. Welcome to Wall Street. All right, so they go into Mountain tries to say why this is happening. A few reasons why the margins are improving. It goes into it. But ultimately, people aren't impressed with what's happening. And there is that huge gap in what keeps being brought up of net loss of 26.2 million, with roughly 23 million of that being IPO related charges. So we're going to go further into this over on the second part of this. So make sure again to subscribe to the channel. It's very interesting. And there's a lot more here than even what we're scratching the surface of today, because again, these two articles are ones that I keep getting sent over and over again by industry insiders. And while no one will tell me exactly, because they don't, not that I would never screenshot anything, but everyone's being careful in today's world, right? Like the stream, yes, please. They're being careful. And they're like, I know you'll do what you do and you'll see what we see. So here you go, wink, right? There you go. So we have, just to summarize, Steelhouse becomes Mountain. June 2021, they bring Ryan Reynolds on as the face of their brand. He's doing all their ads as chief creative officer, and Ryan puts himself in all the ads, of course. We then have, and that's trying to reputation launder from all of the lawsuits in regards to the fraud and the scams. Now we have Mountain representing a university that is literally a scam, potentially maybe doing fraud over reviews for that university. They're doing the fraud over reviews. Ryan is funneling unsuspecting people in because, listen, he wants the highest conversion. The highest conversion means getting people to say yes, and more people to say yes to this fraud university, this scam university. That is his job. If Ryan is running the ads for the company, if that's his job, higher conversion on a company that is a scam, on a company that Ace University, a for-profit university, that people in the reviews are saying those reviews have got to be fake, which is also illegal. Keep in mind. And on top of all that, Mountain's struggling with their stock. They saw a spike when they first went public. They saw a spike after their Q2 reports. And then people became aware that everything might not be what it seems. And now you're seeing that dip in the stock. And what a dip it is, my friends. What a dip it is. Look at that. Look at this. That's not just market. That's not just the market. So things aren't going so well. And I imagine there's more to the contract between Ryan and Mountain than we even know. We don't know for sure. But I imagine he is someone that definitely benefits, allegedly, from Mountain doing well. Karma. Yep. They should all listen to Taylor's song. I think Blake and Ryan need to re-listen. It's just horrific. And again, I'm not saying that they 100% bought, and it wouldn't necessarily, maybe. I imagine it would be if those reviews are bought, if those fake reviews on Yelp are bought, would be likely from the university itself. But there is no way. There's no way that Ryan wasn't, I just don't believe it. And again, everyone else can make up their own minds, that he wasn't aware of what Mountain was in the beginning, and that they're not aware of the shit that's going on. Everyone knows what for-profit universities are. Everyone knows. You can't tell me Ryan, as a businessman, doesn't know what a for-profit university is and the scam that it is. And he is preying through the ads, my opinion, preying on women, men, people that are likely desperate for a second lease. They're hitting that midlife. They're realizing they're not happy. They're realizing that what they've done up until this point is not what they want to continue doing. They are putting their trust in ads by Ryan and Mountain. that this is going to be the answer to their dreams. And what they get is a nightmare. They get a scam university that is not what it seems. And they were targeted by retargeting ads by Mountain. And their chief creative officer is Ryan Reynolds. And I would find it hard to believe Ryan isn't even slightly involved in the ads, because that seems to be his jam. That seems to be what he does, is ads. And they are preying on people that just want to be happy, that want to follow their dreams. You saw the comment, the rating from the one woman at the Better Business Bureau, who she said, they ruined my dreams. They destroyed my dreams. Ads are directly responsible for that, because with retargeting ads, the idea is you continuously get in front of someone's face. Their retargeting ads themselves are not sketchy. They're not bad. In fact, retargeting ads found me some of my favorite mentors I've had over the years and changed my life, because when I first was leaving corporate, it was actually retargeting ads that got me to find my first business coach and mentor. They're not inherently bad, but when they're used by bad people doing shady shit for scam universities, that's where it gives the entire industry a horrible name. And yes, you are, in my opinion, responsible for that if you were the one putting ads out for that university. Oh. All right, my friends, that's what I have for part 1 of this. There's going to be more, because like I said, I've been covering Mountain since the beginning of this year, and I'm not stopping now. And to give you a hint, we're going to go deeper into the stocks. But to give you a hint, those reviews you saw on ACE, on that for-profit university, remember the way they were worded, the way that it just felt off? Well, you kind of see similar threads in Mountain's reviews. And I'll just leave it at that. Can't wait for more tea. I know, I need more coffee. I need a coffee refill. I'm trying to cut back my coffee, but let me tell you guys, this case is just wild. I love you guys. Happy New Week, and thank you for going live. It's my pleasure. I love being here. I'd love to hear, what are you guys feeling about all of this in the comments? Mirror selfies aren't reflection, contemplation, alas. Yeah, they got the mirror selfies down pat, but you know, do they not care that there are real people who are having their lives destroyed? And that's the question I ask myself very often, my friend. And that's what's giving me less. I remember when I was younger and like newer to being in branding, marketing, and PR. It wasn't actually, to be quite honest, that was not the field I wanted to be in. I originally got involved in it when I was a personal trainer and building my own brand. I met a mentor locally that helped me. Her and her husband had gone to university for it and everything, and they were experts in it, and they taught me so much. And then I brought my psychology background to it, and I just got obsessed with it. And then people started seeking me out. They're like, how do you continually build these brands? And I want inside your brain. And so I kind of just fell into the industry, to be quite honest. And it's stuff like this that just gets me so upset, because people like this, they ruin trust for everyone, for even good brands that are doing good things, for good people that genuinely want to help. They ruin it for everyone. And I don't blame anyone. I don't blame anyone for struggling with trust after stuff like this. Why would you want to buy from an ad again after the last ad you bought was for ACE University? The ad was run by Mountain and Ryan Reynolds, and now you're being scammed, and now you're out $8,000 without being able to do anything, right? It's been lurking dog sitting today, but fascinated, hoping to witness history, Hollywood legend fall from grace. We will see. 2025 is the fuck around and find out year. It is the fuck around and find out year, let me tell you that. And I actually have a video coming later tonight. I got up early. I recorded a video for you guys because everyone seems to love like an evening video too. So I've been doing that. It's a shorter video talking about the fuck around and find out for Pam Anderson and Liam Neeson, if they actually did lie about being a couple. Real learning is hard, but exciting. Chase your passion, sharpen your brain, develop your creativity. Absolutely. Feeling rage, sickness. Where the fuck is the due justice or state? Yeah, AG. Absolutely. Ryan really is rage bait in human form. Yeah. 2025 is the we're not here for this shit. It is. And hey, this is what I've said. I've been preaching this for some time. For brands I've worked with, even in 2024, it's like there's a reckoning coming and you best be in front of it. And I had some clients that listened, some didn't. And those that listened and dropped a lot of the extra polish and just were them flourished. And those that didn't are struggling. But that's why lives are so good. People can see you are who you are. Like, I can't edit things. I'm going to try and edit out the freezing so it doesn't drive you crazy on the replay. But overall, lives are the best way to connect with people, to connect with the right people. Who you are comes out. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. And a lot of people aren't catching on to the shifts in the market. Celebrities aren't catching on. That's going to be a big come to Jesus moment for Pam and Liam if they actually did do the PR couple thing. People don't want it. People want authenticity. And people are destroying their brands. And that's why PR, even when you're a brand new brand, is critical. I hear so many people say, no, Ashley, like I just started. I don't need PR. PR is essentially, I want everyone. So if you're starting a podcast, if you're starting a blog, if you're starting a YouTube channel, a business, helping people online, I want you to reframe PR and think of it like this. This is the most basic bitch way I can think of putting it. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but just to help us reframe PR, marketing is what you say about yourself. And PR essentially is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And whether you just start out in business or you're 10 years deep with $50,000 months or you're a public figure, you do want to have control over what people say about you when you're not in the room because people are going to talk regardless. So you need to understand how to put an authentic brand forward that resonates with the right people. And to understand, what am I putting forward? My brand has always been really no bullshit. And so some people don't like me for that because I call out things. So they might say things about me when I'm not in the room being like, she's kind of a jerk. She called out this or whatever. But that's all part of the brand as well. Looking at what are people saying about me when I'm not in the room? Everyone needs that. It's never too early. If you want to check out the 90-day PR playbook, it's right here. Oh, damn it. That's not it. Shit, that's not it. Why did it just type in Ashley Investigates? We're running into tech problems today. That's another thing, actually. I get a lot of people being like, no, I'm just starting out. I need, the fancy mics. And I often have people that watch like Dave Neal, for example. They go, I need, what does Dave Neal do? It's so fancy. He's got all the stuff on the screen. You don't need that. You don't need that. And other clients that say, I'm afraid to have like tech issues. Do you watch my channel? We always have tech issues. What are you talking about? We always have tech issues. Just be you. You can't fake authenticity, especially live, right? Like, you can't fake it. It's just who you are. I like the zero bullshit. Yeah, some people don't. And it causes problems with me and with some. And I'm like, I'm not targeting anyone. I'm just giving my opinion, but it does rub people the wrong way sometimes. I love this live chat where we interact. It's great. Such a great chat. I feel very blessed for this community that's been built here. Can't wait for Ari Emanuel's WME reckoning, maybe 2026. Yeah, that's another one. That's been bad. He's not Pam's type PR stunt, wishing her happiness, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I should have known. That's the thing, right? Just plays on your mind, plays on your emotions. All right, my friends, an hour and 30 minutes in. Let's call it a day. Before you head out, please hit like, subscribe, hype the video after. So make sure to like it. Then you can hype it. Make sure to like it. Then you can hype it. You have 3 hypes a week and then they cut you off after that. But they're just starting that program for smaller creators and it helps you get seen. All right, my friends, with that, there will be a video coming out later tonight, probably between 6 and 7 p.m. And other than that, I'll see you tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern for our video tomorrow. We will probably have some more news in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuits. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.